Welcome to the half turn. I am your host, and today we will be covering the Premier League opening weekend. We're going to be looking at some La Liga games. We're going to be looking at some Serie A results, and then we're going to go to the Far East. We're going all the way to Japan to the J.League. We'll be right back. Guys, welcome back. We'll be starting off in the Premier League. And first things first, Man United versus Hull. Okay, first off, strong lineup. We have new signings. We have experienced heads. Aiden Heaven in the back with Maguire. Okay. But in the midfield, you have the new signing, Yuri Tillemans, Belgian captain. You have Santos from Brazil. And then you also have a strong bench. You have Mainu, you have Rashford, you have Sesko, which thank goodness that he's even in the squad. The guy hasn't played since May. The only real surprise was poor Ahmad. Ahmad did not make the squad. Looks like he had an injury in training. So, what happened? Well, Man United happened. United had early chances. They had some shots on goal, which looked really good. But then, Hull, not to be outdone, they grew into the game. They scored 2 goals from 2 set pieces. That's what they were going for. That's what they got. And unfortunately for United, United never found any type of rhythm. My read of the game was that United are still incredibly undercooked. Just like I said, completely new midfield with Tillemans and Santos. Why didn't Mainu start? Well, he went to the World Cup, famously did not play a single minute. He was late to preseason, obviously, because he was still part of that World Cup squad. He needed a break. A lot of the World Cup players came back later than the other squad. So they're still playing catch up. You could tell that their timing was off. The chemistry is still not there. Look, it's the first game. It really is the season after a World Cup. You saw these types of performances, not just from United, but all across Europe. But what does United have to look forward to? Well, there's going to be a lot of games this season. They qualified for the Champions League, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities for these guys to really get to know each other and their intricacies in order for their rhythm to be a lot better. What's coming? Well, according to the news, Baleba is what's coming. He's about to arrive, reportedly. He passed his medical. United are just waiting to make the official announcement. But is Baleba enough? Obviously, Man United needed another midfielder. He's a great addition if he can find the form that he had 2 seasons ago. Last year, didn't have a very good season. A lot of rumors um, attribute it to Man United getting involved back then. It looks like they had a deal in place. And now it's finally happening. Hopefully, he has a good season. Hopefully, he has a good career with Man United. But it's obvious that Man United need more. They need a left back, they need a forward, and they more than likely need a center back. But this is the issue. With a forward, people need to leave. Rashford, is he going to stay? Is he actually staying? Looks like they officially gave him the number 9 shirt. That's kind of huge. That means he's probably sticking around. So then, Zirkzee. So much so much rumors regarding Xerxes. Look, I would have liked that his career would have gone a lot better at Man United, but looks like that's not going to be the case. Looks like they're trying to get him to leave, but he has to agree to that. Lots of rumors that Juventus really, really like him. Other Serie A teams want him, but he seems like it's going to be one of those deadline day signings where Serie A teams come knocking. They say, we don't have any money. How about a loan? And then it's up to United, right? Do you loan him out? Get at least his wages off of your books? But then who do you get to replace him? If you get rid of Xerxes, you need to bring someone else. I would have loved Danny Welbeck to have returned, but he's already off to Chelsea. So who do you get? That's going to be a big, big problem should they decide to let Xerxes go. Is there enough time? Moving on to Brighton versus Aston Villa. Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. Let's start at the beginning with this one. So Villa come in and they've lost a lot of their big players. Morgan Rogers sold. Konza sold. The aforementioned Yuri Tillemans sold to Manchester United. Lucas Digne sold. 32 minutes in, 4 goals. The first one, big mistake at the back. Just a horrible pass. He gives it right to the Brighton forward. He shoots, ricochets off of the Iceman himself. Own goal. 1-0 to Brighton. After that, the second one came off of a fast break. And then the third and the fourth followed pretty quickly thereafter. Aston Villa went ahead and signed Joao Gomes, or Gomez, from the relegated Wolverhampton, the Wolves, and he saw red today. Well, the entire team saw red, but he saw a red card. Leaves his team down to 10 men. And Brighton took the foot off the pedal after that. Those weren't the only big results in the Premier League. This weekend, we also had Spurs losing 3-0 to Brentford. Manchester City win by the skin of their teeth 2-1 versus Bournemouth. And Liverpool escape with a draw in the last minutes 2-2 versus Newcastle. Guys, we'll be right back with some Spanish action. We're going straight to La Liga. Guys, welcome back. Some huge stories coming out of La Liga. Real Madrid and Barcelona actually played this week, so the two giants finally joined the party. And first up, we have Espanyol, the other Barcelona team with its own beautiful history, versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid would take this one 2-1, but the big story here was it was Jose Mourinho's return. Vinny Jr. rocking a beautiful beard. And you had some other new faces. You had Konate from France, signed from Liverpool. You had Denzel Dumfries, signed from Internazionale de Milano. And then you had Bernardo Silva signing from Manchester City. The game opens up with a beautiful header from Jude Bellingham. Arda Güler with a beautiful assist. It was a free kick. Arda Güler takes it. Beautiful cross. Bellingham meets it with a powerful header, and he scores, making it 1-0 pretty early on for Real Madrid. But Espanyol, they fight back. They drew level 1-1, and then the game stayed like that for a very, very long time. Questions will be asked because it's Real Madrid, because it's Jose Mourinho. But the questions won't be that hard because they ended up winning it in the 90th minute 2-1. They'll go ahead, they'll take the win, they'll ask questions later. How quickly can this Madrid team click? Who are they going to sell to make room for more rumored big signings? At Real Madrid, no one is safe, even when you win. Moving along, we have Atlético Madrid, Los Colchoneros, versus the Yellow Submarine themselves, Villarreal. Atlético lining up with Ademola Lookman. This was the biggest surprise. I didn't get to see their game earlier in the week, so Atlético Madrid, this is their second game of the season, and they have a new signing. Lee Kang-in from South Korea. I know of Lee because at the World Cup, he played against Mexico. I saw all of South Korea's games, and obviously he was one of the most talented in that squad. He was on the bench for PSG. So even though I don't know of this kid, if you're on the bench for PSG, you're still good. Atletico went ahead and made some moves. They signed him, but the biggest surprise is that he's wearing the number 7 shirt. Griezmann just left. The immortal Antoine Griezmann. Incredible, incredible career for Atletico Madrid. Leaves this past summer, as we discussed in the last episode. Is now playing in the MLS. And of course, Atleti need to move on. But for Kang to get the number 7 shirt, that speaks volumes of his confidence. And you got to see it because in the first game of their season, he scored one hell of a wonderful goal to kick off his Atletico Madrid career. Other big signings, Grimaldo from Bayer Leverkusen. This one I completely missed. I had no idea he was there. I was watching the game this morning. I saw the guy on the left. His jersey says Grimaldo. And there I am thinking, is that the Grimaldo from Bayer Leverkusen? Sure enough, it was. So here's the thing, though. Atletico Madrid playing without a recognized forward. That front line looked very, very fluid. But here's the other thing. Julian Alvarez started on the bench. Why? Well, probably because there's been a lot of noise saying that he wants to go to Barcelona. He does not want to play for El Cholo Simeone anymore, does not want to play for Atletico Madrid. Rumors are flying that his heart and mind are already with Barcelona. Villarreal, incredibly organized, dangerous on the counter, created very big chances that they could not finish. They had the better chances early on. But Atletico Madrid would open the scoring in the second half with un golazo de Pubil. But then Villarreal would come roaring back. They get 2 penalties that they bury, making it 2-1, and Atletico Madrid get a red card going down to 10 men. You would think that would be it. But the determination of this Atletico team and pretty much every iteration of Cholo Simeone's Atletico Madrid, if you can describe them in one way, it's incredible determination. Over the odds, fearlessness, and his own son, Giuliano Simeone, would make it 2-2. The determination to make the run, to follow the pass from Alex Baena, to shoot, to bury it in that moment in time, 2-2. And that's how it would end. And the only question I have after watching this game is what exactly is this Atletico Madrid team? Also covered with new signings. Are they going to keep playing the same Simeone ball? I mean, I would think so. He's the longest serving manager in definitely in La Liga. I mean, he's been with Atleti probably a little bit more than 10 years, and he hasn't really changed. A lot more flair last season, but not enough spine, not enough toughness. And I'm looking at these players and I'm thinking, there's a lot of talent. But who's going to provide the steel? Man, we'll find out. Going on to the rest of La Liga, the other biggest result that stuck out was Sevilla. Starting off with another big win, 3-0 versus Athletic Club. That's huge. 3-0. Last year you were fighting relegation. You've won 2 in a row. 6 points out of a possible 6. I don't think you can ask for more if you're Sevilla. And at the time of recording, Barcelona were up 2-0 versus Elche. The big thing with Barcelona at the moment is that they have a lot of players who they would like to sell. One of them being Balde himself, the left back. Gee, who needs a left back? Didn't we just talk about that? Manchester United need a left back. Lots of rumors that Balde is probably going to end up there. But in reality, in this window, no one really knows what Man United is going to be doing. The 3 midfield signings that they've made just come out of nowhere. The leaks are gone. Right now, it seems like these leaks might be coming from Balde's agent. Everybody knows Man United need a left back. Here's a left back. Plays for a huge team and is not wanted? My question is, why don't Barcelona want him? What's wrong there? Guys, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to head to Serie A. Just a quick fire Serie A before we dive in to the J.League. Be right back. Guys, welcome back. The big teams won. In Serie A, the champions themselves, Inter Milan, they win big. 4-1 versus Monza. And then Napoli. Napoli coming in with a new manager. They were champions 2 seasons ago. Last season, their coach, Antonio Conte, pretty much everybody and their grandma knew that he wanted out. This would be his last season, and so it was. So who do they get to replace him? Max Allegri himself. Max Allegri has had a very difficult last couple of seasons with Juventus and then with AC Milan, and now he's with Napoli. Good thing they won. All right. That's all I have for you for Serie A. Well, Juventus, they won. They beat Frosinone. And Roma play on Monday at 1:45 Central Standard Time. If you're in the United States, if you want to watch that one, I would recommend. I always love watching AS Roma. But this is what I've been waiting to talk about. My new favorite league, the J.League. And we have some very, very big and exciting results this weekend. Last episode, I was very excited to watch Machida Zelvia versus Urawa Red Diamonds. Why? Machida Zelvia, the more I watch them, the more I hear about their story, the more compelling they become. They come into this game with 2 straight wins, and not just 2 simple wins. They were devastating wins. They were beatdowns. If they win here, huge statement. 3 out of 3 wins. Urawa, on the other hand, 2 straight losses. The first one, you could understand. They got a red card. They go down to 10 men. They make a fight out of it. Still, they lose. The second one, they lose decisively at home. That was tough. The last thing they want is to lose 3 in a row. So already, this game was incredibly compelling. I didn't know if YouTube was going to show this one. So thank goodness that they did. That was today at 5 a.m. Guys, I'll be honest, I didn't get up at that time. I just watched it later in the morning. And I would recommend anybody to watch this. If you want to watch it, just turn this off now. Go watch it, come back. We'll analyze this game together. Here it is. Spoilers for this game. If you want to go and watch it, turn this off now. Come back later. Spoiler. 1, 2, 3. Machida Zelvia win 3-1 versus Urawa. Urawa, that makes 3 losses in a row. But let's take it step by step. So Machida, they take the lead early on in the 8th minute with Nakamura. What a hell of a goal here at the top of the box on the right side. Quick first-time shot. Squeezes it in for the 1-0. After that, Urawa, they kind of wake up. They get the ball a lot. They move it around. And they finally score right before halftime. They finally woke up 1-1, right? They need to show some spirit. They need to show some fight. But Machida takes it. They score 2 more. Nishimura and Lavi. Lavi's goal, I don't know if he means to hit it the way he hit it, but he literally kicks the ball into the ground, making it bounce so that it bounces away from the keeper and goes in a nice little arc. It's just a beautiful goal. Machida, they have goals everywhere. It seems like anybody in this team can just score. They play beautifully, beautiful football, and yet there is an ugly ruthlessness to it. If you're the other team, if you're a fan of the teams that they have completely demolished in their first 3 games, I won't lie to you, it's hard to watch. I feel sorry. I like Urawa Reds. I love their fans. When they came to the United States and they played at the Club World Cup, I was astounded by this team. I just wanted to know more. And then the World Cup comes along. Japan is amazing. So I'm thinking to myself, I am going to follow Urawa. And I will. I will follow them because I think they are a fantastic organization. But Machida is something else. And this is one of the things that I have loved watching the J.League for the first time in my life. A high school coach, guys, he takes over this team while they're in the second division, gets them promoted to the first division. In the first season, they get third place. Come on, man. And now they have 3 wins out of 3, 9 points out of a possible 9. But get this, they have a plus 10 goal difference. In the 3 games, they have scored 12 goals. They have only conceded twice. That has to be championship numbers, right? Like the amount of goals that they are scoring. To me, okay, I have no frame of reference, right? I don't know what's normal in the J.League. But in my head, football is a low scoring game. Obviously, you have big blowouts. You just saw it with the scoreline versus Brighton versus Villa, but that was circumstantial, right? There's that doesn't happen every day. But 3 games out of 3, Machida are fiends. They love some goals. Now going to Urawa, man, they're 19th place. They are in the relegation zone. They have 0 points, and I think we need to have a conversation because this is one of the big Japanese teams. From what I've read and from what I know, to lose 3 out of 3 games, granted they have a new coach. Is he going to get the time that he needs for this to click? How much time can you get when you're losing emphatically? I don't think anyone in the world gets that amount of time. If you're serious. Football's ruthless, as you can see by Machida. Good luck. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep supporting. But I'm also going to keep watching Machida. The story of this season so far, for me at least. Oh, by the way, they are in first place. They're tied with 2 other teams. Here we go. You're looking at Machida Zelvia, 9 points. Kashiwa Antlers, 9 points. Kashima also. Kashima Reysol also with 9 points. Now, let's just take a step back because Kashima Antlers, the champions themselves, they won 3-2 versus Avispa Fukuoka. Avispa, translated to be. Kashima have 3 wins, but this is their first, in my opinion, this is their first convincing win. Guys, Kashima leak goals, as we've seen from their 2 previous games. Their defense, probably not as good as last season, but they're getting the job done. They have 9 points out of 9. Who's going to drop the ball first? That's going to be exciting to watch. I can't wait until these 2 play each other. I can't wait until Kashima Antlers and Machida Zelvia play. That's going to be a huge game. My final thought Usually during the weekend, after watching games, I like to think about what I just didn't understand, what confused me. And this week, there wasn't very much, maybe nothing at all. Instead, I realize now, after watching for so many seasons, that the opening weekend is a festival. It's a party, at least for the first few minutes. But the results can be a huge lie. This weekend, we have Manchester United, who are still an unfinished product. You have Aston Villa, who look terrible, but are they necessarily that bad? Real Madrid, lucky enough to get the win. You can see that they're still integrating their new people. Atletico still figuring themselves out. Machida just blowing people away. And Urawa needing a big think. The big question, though, is how long does a new team take to become a team? Some click automatically. Some need weeks, months. And then you have the transfer window still open. In the end, I would recommend to any fan, don't overreact. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. We just started. The gun went boom, and we barely took our first steps into a very long season. The players are already exhausted. This is why it's so important for these teams to get their recruitment right, because everybody's tired. Everybody is burnt out. And now you're asking them, the players, to do it all over again. They'll get it. It's what they do. They always come in and get their job done. I, as a Manchester United fan, have zero worries about Bruno Fernandes. Give the guy a few minutes, he'll snap back. Not a problem. But even though I'm asking everyone, don't overreact, you still can't ignore what we saw, right? If you're a Real Madrid fan, why did it take so long to beat Espanyol when you have those types of players? If you're a Manchester United fan, when are we going to get the left back? Are we going to get another forward? A good forward, right? You already have one. His name is Xerxes, and he's not good enough. Can you replace him with something better? If you're an Aston Villa fan, very, very hard not to be pushing the panic button. But hey, man, you guys have one of the best coaches in the entire world. He's gotten you this far. He'll probably keep you trucking along. But what's most important about this weekend is that we finally have something to watch together. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. I'm going to try to record during the week to at least give you my thoughts on the upcoming games for the weekend. The Champions League is going to start off pretty soon. Man United are back in the big time. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun season. And we haven't even got to Germany yet. The Bundesliga arrives this coming weekend. Huge, huge weekend. We'll watch it all together. You guys have a great night. I'll see you soon.